Okay, excellent. Berry, thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed as part of our Vision Sunday here at Freedom Church. Um, First of all, Berry, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I am a student through the Open University. I live in Romsey. I'm married and have two children, not their dad. And yeah, that's about it really. I do volunteer work, and that's pretty much me.
Excellent. And so, Berry, how did you find yourself in need of debt help?
Um, the short version is I had a unpleasant ex-husband and a difficult separation, which, as I'm sure lots of people end up in the same kind of situation, obviously end up waiting 5 weeks for universal credit, compounded an already unpleasant money issue. And yeah, basically as a result of divorce.
Yeah, and it's quite common that is a reason why people find themselves in these difficult situations.
Lots of women do what I did, drop down your hours to look after kids, and men as well, but it's primarily women, and the man is the main earner, and you end up being in a weak financial position when separation comes around.
Yeah. And so how did you hear about CAP?
Through Ramsey Family Support Group, who are amazing. They are a charity who support parents with young children in Romsey and the surrounding area. And one of the things that they do is signpost people with various issues, whatever they may be, learning difficulties with children or behavioural issues or money management or mental health, whatever that is, housing, to the appropriate people. And they work with CAP to that end.
Yeah, they are an incredible charity and a great resource for so many families with young children, aren't they, in the town?
Yeah, we're really lucky. I mean, my kids are school age now, so we don't really go, but they are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you heard about CAP through Ramsey Family Support Group. So what happened then? How did you find the process of working with us?
Yeah, really straightforward. I think I'd already met you. I think you'd come in and done a talk at the group. So Joan, who runs the group, supported me in making that first phone call, which is really daunting. It doesn't need to be, because actually CAP are lovely and everyone's really nice, but obviously that initial phone call feels quite daunting. And then you guys come out and go from there. It was really straightforward.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, straightforward and supportive as well, with very little judgment, which I think is the nerve-wracking thing, because although it's, I know rationally that there is no reason to be ashamed of being in debt. It happens to lots of people living on the breadline, especially at the moment. You do worry about how you're going to be received, and that was never an issue.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Berry, you are now debt-free, which is fantastic. Congratulations, which happened last year, didn't it, in 2020? Yeah. So that's one great thing to come out of 2020.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what it feels like now that you've finally gone debt-free?
For me, it's part of a process of regaining control over my life, which is very liberating, I think. But also because it was my main priority, obviously, I wanted to get rid of it as quickly as possible. Any spare cash I had coming into the household through birthday gifts or those kind of things, I would sort of siphon off into, my debt plan. And it means now that instead of doing that, I'm sort of able to put money aside for, the busy months of the year, uniforms, under normal circumstances, school clubs and school trips and all those kind of things. I don't need to worry so much about those kind of things anymore. Although I will say, as much as I struggle, it is a struggle to get debt free. You do put that. I did have some difficulties with universal credit halfway through, where they didn't pay me for 2 months, and CAP were very supportive about sort of putting some of my savings back into my pocket so that I could, survive, basically. And there was no pressure from CAP to kind of hurry it along. It was always really understanding. and also from a mental health point of view, it's very. And again, one of the things that CAP really helped with, you get those letters through saying, oh, you owe, and with the divorce, it seemed to just pop up willy-nilly. Oh, now you owe this money on the water that I had no idea existed. And, it can be very draining dealing with all those things, and knowing that you can just take an image and send it to someone and someone will deal with it for you and you don't have to worry is really quite wonderful. But I don't even have to do that anymore, so it's really nice. It's nice to be able to think, okay, I can get the kids shoes and not have to worry about it and things like that. So yeah,
absolutely. So it's a real sort of sense of freedom,
definitely,
and being back in control really of your circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a sort of a step as part of a larger kind of regaining my life, but a really, really important one. And I think, I think the impact is sort of dramatic all over. But even when it was sort of, once I had contact with CAP and that kind of support, it instantly becomes a lot easier and a lot more manageable, because you've got someone you can talk to if that letter turns up or that person phones. And also companies are a lot more sympathetic, if you're working with a debt management company like CAP. So, and the ongoing impact, not only am I debt free, but I've made really positive connections and have really good support, and as a result of CAP. So
brilliant. Oh, that's so good to hear. And so encouraging, because we sort of know it from our perspective, but to hear it from your point of view is just brilliant, because that's what it's all about really, and being able to hand paperwork over and being able to to have that support is it's great to hear that it does make a difference. So what is life like now for you, Berry, now that you are debt free?
I mean, we're all in lockdown, so it kind of sucks. But apart from that, it's just much freer and easier, and you can kind of allow yourself to plan for the future. Things like I'd put a bit of, not very much admittedly, but a little bit of money aside. So that meant that August last year we were able to go and visit some family down in Plymouth that we hadn't seen for the year. In that very brief period, we weren't in a lockdown. And it was only a weekend, but the kids it was amazing. Like, we caught the train, we had a discount train ticket. It was all very budget, but it was so nice to just be able to do it. And those kind of little things make a huge difference in just quality of life. Being able to just say, do you know what, actually, yes, we're going to go on that picnic, or yes, we're going to go and play that, buy that board game or whatever it is you want to do. It's nice to be able to do it and not panic about the fact that you might not be paying the water bill for that month.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, absolutely right. It's that's great. And so finally then, Berry, what would you say to anyone who is struggling with unmanageable debt today?
Definitely get in touch with CAP or another charity like yourselves. I know there are lots of them around. I mean, you guys have been amazing for me, and the support. It's not just about managing the debt, it's having someone to talk to, and having someone to kind of support you through what essentially the chances are is quite a tough time, because the chances are, if you're in debt of some description, you've been through something unpleasant, whether that's a job loss or a separation or a homelessness or some other quite unpleasant circumstance that has led you to those things. And having someone else to having someone to support you through that, like you and Lottie have, it's I've been very lucky, and you can't really put a value on that kind of support.
Oh, well, that is a lovely place to end. So thank you so much, Berry, for your time, for being willing to be interviewed, and we wish you all the best into 2021, whatever that brings.
It's so big for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. All in the same boat. No, we're not all in the same. We're all in the same storm, but not all in the same boat, or something.
Yeah.
But wishing you all the best for 2021, and thank you again for your time.
Thanks, Jo.